Hi everybody, Cheryl and Lady coming to you from the Ladies Garden and Home. It's almost Thanksgiving and I thought I would share this video with you today to kind of discuss the things that I'm feeling very grateful for, especially in the garden this year. So I hope you join us. If you follow me on Facebook, you know that I garden in a very small space in the backyard, and I try to grow as many vegetables as I can. And this year I really tried to kind of gussy it up with a lot of flowers and pretty things. But if you also follow me, you know that in past videos I might have sounded like I'm cranking a lot because for some reason, we tend to sometimes focus on the negative as opposed to the positive. Things like, oh, well, we didn't get rain for 3 months, or wow, it was really, really hot in the month of July and August, and the mosquitoes drive me crazy, and my groundhog drove me crazy, and the rabbits, and well, you know what you understand what I'm saying. But this time of year, I think it's really important to kind of just take it all in. It's the end of the growing season, and just look around and be grateful for everything that we were able to accomplish and do this year. The growing season is coming to an end. It's almost December and we haven't had a frost yet, which is something to be very, very grateful for because it extended my growing season quite a bit. Let me show you what I mean. These peppers sure have petered out, but if it wasn't for the long growing season, I wouldn't have gotten some really nice sized peppers that I was able to make stuffed peppers with. So that's something that I'm very grateful for. I'm grateful for this wall of beans that they don't look very pretty now, but they gave me so many green beans this year. I honestly didn't know what to do with them all. I gave a lot away. I froze a lot of them, and then the rest of them, I'm just letting them dry right now on the vine so that I have some dry beans stored for soups and that kind of thing over the winter. Lady, thank you. Yes, I complained a lot about the groundhog, and it did get all of my eggplants, but it seems to have left me some tomatoes. These are the pineapple tomatoes, and they're still ripening up. Well, if we do end up getting a freeze this week, I'm going to come out and pick them, let them ripen up if they choose to do so. If not, turn them into some kind of green relish or fried green tomatoes. But I'm very lucky that we had such a long growing season because the tomatoes are really still producing, and I would not have had as many this year if the frost had come a month and a half ago like was predicted. This year I put in a medicinal flower garden, and I have really, really enjoyed doing this. But in addition to that, I've actually used some of these flowers to help treat myself and my pets and my son. More tomatoes that are ripening up on the vine. And because of the drought, I did not get late season blight on my tomato plants this year. So they've been really, really healthy. And God really, really chose to bless me with a lot of calendula, which is still flowering very, very nicely. This massive Mexican sunflower plant was looking pretty good up until the other day when a big wind took it over. But what beauty it gave me this year. And the bees absolutely loved it. And I'm letting the dried seed heads just stay on the plant, you know, for food for the birds. And this time of year, to be able to see the pretty butterfly bush and the blueberry bush in their autumn colors, It just makes me very happy. One thing I'm very, very grateful for this year is my abundance of celery. Now, I have a celery story. Lady gets very bored listening to it because I have said it before. But back in 2020, when we had the great shutdown and certain things were difficult to find on the shelves, and one of them was celery. And to be honest with you, I could understand a run on toilet paper, but celery, it got me very nervous. And that's what inspired me to start my gardening journey in this backyard. I had just moved in. I hadn't gardened for many years. But when I couldn't find celery and certain other things in the grocery store, I knew that it was time to get planting. And then I couldn't find the seeds. There was the great seed shortage that year. Well, it took me a while. I finally found some. I started them. Not too good. However, what happened was the ones that I did plant ended up wintering over and forming flowers and then forming seeds. And the seeds dropped and I got a harvest that year of celery that I didn't even plant. And since then, it's 4 years now, since then I've never had to start celery from seed inside anymore. I've just had a continuous rotation of flowering celery, seeds, and then starting the process again. So I am very grateful for my huge celery harvest. Even though the groundhog liked eating the leaves, it left me the stalks. And with those stalks, I've been able to make a couple of nights. I've made celery soup, which take up a lot of celery. So I've had that in abundance, and I'm very grateful for that. My little Mary's rose garden might not be the biggest or most robust rose garden, but these just few plants, these 6 plants here, have given me continuous blooms most of the summer into the fall. Something is usually blooming or about to bloom, and that's been very, very, very precious to me. Another thing that has been pretty abundant this year that I'm grateful for are the things that are growing in my green stalk. I've had these little sweet pea tomatoes that are just adorable, and at least once a week I can come out and pick, you know, a handful, which is enough for like to throw in with the green beans. I've got beautiful sage and basil here, and lettuce did very, very well here this year. So this one green stalk provided us with so much food this year. And my herb containers were also very prolific this year. I've had a variety whenever I've wanted to come out, and I even still have some basil growing, and of course more sweet pea tomatoes. But all right, I'm almost done. But I really, really love the abundance that I've been able to get out of these containers this year. All right, I'm coming. And of course, I'm very, very grateful to be able to share my gardening journey with my little lady. She's had some health problems over the years. She's either 16, 17, or 18. We're not sure which. But thank God she's been well lately. And she's looking so pretty in her Thanksgiving Day bow. Thank you for joining me in the garden all the time, lady, even when you want to go inside. Another thing as we wrap up the gardening year that I would like to share with you is that this year I tried not to be as frantic in the garden and not try to do absolutely everything for everything. And you know what? I enjoyed it so much more because of that. Part of it was physical. My back and my knees are just not what they used to be. And I guess I kind of wanted to experiment to see, would I have a successful growing season if I didn't prune every single one of those plants, if I didn't weed every single weed? And you know what? It was fine. It was absolutely fine. I was able to finally kind of just every now and then relax with a cup of coffee and not look around with a to-do list in my head. And so if there's anything that I wanted to share with you as far as advice goes, is try to do that. Try to relax a little bit in the garden. Don't make it work all the time. And then the other thing, I think that the garden was really very healing for me this year is I did a video a couple of months ago called Grief in the Garden. That was after I lost my Poochie cat, who I thought was 16, but my son presented me with evidence that showed that I was wrong about that, and she was actually 18, and that was in April. And then in September, I lost her brother Fluffer, which you may have known if you watched some of my indoor videos. He was the one who was always on the chair. They were brother and sister twins, and had them since they were kittens. And to be able to come into the garden and just reflect and relax and grieve was very healing for me. And by the end of the fall, I have started to come to a bit of an appreciation for Fatty McFatbottom, my obnoxious little groundhog, because something happened. I overheard the neighbors talking about needing to trap this groundhog that was in the neighborhood. And I saw a trap in one of the neighbors' yards. And I started getting very, very worried about him. And I realized I don't really hate him. He may be annoying, but I've come to have some kind of true affection for the little guy. So am I grateful for the furry creatures? I know I complain. I know they're annoying. But you know what? I have enough to share. And they keep me company in the garden. They give me something to talk about, complain about. They are awfully cute. So yeah, I would say I'm grateful for them. Finally, what I was really, really grateful for this year is I was able to finally do some traveling. And I was able to go down in the spring and visit my sister down in South Florida. And gardening wise, I found it so fascinating how different the types of plants she grows are. And I just loved her tropical backyard with her orchids and lemon tree plants and pool. And then in October, I was very excited to go visit my friend Karen and her husband Mike in England. And I showed you in a video her lovely backyard wildlife garden. It's her hedgehog box. We don't have hedgehogs here, but they are very cute. And then we took a couple of day trips, one of them being to Waterperry Gardens. Now, I did my last video on a full tour of these lovely, lovely gardens, many different types of garden styles. This is the vegetable garden. I guess you would call it a kitchen garden. Another really lovely day trip we took was to Blenheim Palace near Oxford. And it's the second largest palace in England. And oh, it was beautiful, inside and out. They are very well known for their landscaped forests and man-made lake that they have done centuries past. And they have beautiful formal gardens as well. And we just had a beautiful, fascinating day. I was grateful I was able to get away and go and come back from these trips with a lot of inspiration for my own garden. So before we wrap up, I wanted to read you something. This came from the rector at the Georgetown Oratory here in Connecticut, not far from me. And it's a reflection on Thanksgiving, and I thought that this would appeal to those of us who garden, and especially those of us who garden and try to sustain ourselves with the vegetables and fruits and things that we grow. Thanksgiving is, at its heart, a harvest festival. I have observed many times how important it is for us to recognize the fact that we are all dependent upon agriculture for our very survival. We may live somewhat detached from the gritty realities, but we all owe a debt of gratitude, first to God, who has given us a world where good things grow. Secondly, to God, who has endowed us with the intelligence and skill to encourage the earth to bring forth her increase. Psalm 67. And thirdly, to the men and women who labor tirelessly and often thanklessly to produce our food. So, with that in mind, if you've had some successes in the garden, even if you haven't, but you've learned a lot, thank God for that. And for the rest of the food that we need, thank God for that. And I hope that you have a very, very happy Thanksgiving, and you can share it with your friends and your families and your loved ones. From the Ladies Garden and Home, happy Thanksgiving. Bye. Lady says, happy Thanksgiving.